Hi everybody, Coach Josh Gerry here, and today we're going to talk about the origins of the pro wrestling term, mark.
And by God, me and my friend Mark, we're going to stop watching.
I'm sure most of you have heard the term mark before, usually used in a negative way like stupid marks or something along those lines. But what does that word mean? And where did it come from? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's take a look. One of the first stories that I heard about the origins of the word mark came from the early days of my own training in the late 90s. And one of the old timers sat down a bunch of us kids and decided to educate us on the history and of terms and things like that of professional wrestling. And he stated that during the infancy of the Eastern European gypsy carnivals, which pro wrestling has its ties to, that they would charge an individual mark, meaning a coin or a piece of currency called a mark, to gain entrance into the carnival. Then at the end of the night, they would say, okay, how many marks did we have? And they would look at how many coins, and they were able to determine how many people had actually attended the carnival. The only mention that I found about a European currency called the mark was this: a unit of money or weight. Late Old English, mark. A unit of weight, chiefly for gold or silver, equal to about 8 ounces. There's some truth to the story, but like any story that gets told and passed down, it evolves and changes over time. So not quite the exact origin, but maybe a part of it. Most of you may know that professional wrestling gets a majority of its history from its time in the carnivals. I mean, a lot of pro wrestling terms are carny terms, and I think that this is probably the best case scenario for where the term mark comes from. The traditional usage of the term mark derives from a late 1800s definition as the victim of a swindle, and criminals and con men to this day use mark as a term to describe their target or victim. But how does that fit in with carnivals? Well, the carnivals and the carnies that work them have a long history of being honest, right? I mean, those games are legit and on the up and up, aren't they? Carnivals had a knack of being able to separate patrons from their money. Just like the old saying, a fool and his money are soon parted, and carnies had a system. As a customer approached the ticket booth to purchase a ticket for entry into the carnival, the ticket booth window was purposefully placed higher than waist height. This forces the ticket buyer, usually men, to hold their wallet up to the window and allow the cashier to see the contents of the wallet. And if a large supply of cash was observed, the cashier would signal an accomplice. This accomplice would physically mark the target with a chalk mark, sometimes told as a handprint, as the accomplice would pat the target on the back with a chalk-dusted hand to wish them luck at the games. Then, the game barkers, those that sling barbs or jokes to carnival patrons to entice them to play the games, would see the marked individual and strongly play to whatever cues they needed to get the individual to play the rigged games. So again, how does this apply to pro wrestling? Professional wrestling got a lot of its more predetermined aspects from its time in carnivals. Promoters and wrestlers would entice viewers of the matches to bet on outcomes of the matches and collect hefty paydays by altering a finish or matchup. They also offered up opportunities to those attendants to earn a payout if they could last X amount of minutes with a wrestler, among other less than honest tricks. So essentially, they joined in on the con of the carnival attendees, and the victims of the rigged bets and tricks became marks. A famous saying in pro wrestling, don't work the boys, work the marks. Takes on a new meaning to some of you now, I bet. So, it looks like the origin of mark being a measure of currency's weight may play into the carnival origin as the traveling gypsies evolved into the carny culture of moving from place to place. Or perhaps it may just be a coincidence as words change meaning over time and geographic regions. At the end of the day, all three of these origins combine to form the word mark as we know it today. While the origins of this word and the connotations that are sometimes negative in today's world, don't be ashamed to be called a mark. A mark just means you're a fan. If you're involved in professional wrestling, you started off as a fan. If you enjoy watching it, you're a fan. We all are marks. We all get pulled into the majesty and the pomp and circumstance and the awe and wonder that is professional wrestling. So the next time somebody calls you a mark, look at them with more knowledge in your head and go, you darn right I am. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you found it informative. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, all the socials are plugged down there in the description. You know, as I always say, you can click over there for any of the videos you may have missed. Go ahead and click over there to subscribe to my channel so that you're notified of any new videos that come along. And again, my name is Coach Josh Gerry. Keep driving and striving.